Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to show you all of my accounts that I have and how I manage my finances. I do have quite a few accounts. I wanted to also share with you my spreadsheets, how I keep track of everything, and offer some tips if you are somebody who struggles to manage your finances and stay on top of everything. Okay, so just keep in mind that personal finance is personal and everybody does things a lot differently. And so this works for me and I am very comfortable with having multiple cards, multiple accounts, and I know that's not the case for everybody. So if this doesn't work for you, then stick to a simple method or whatever it is that you do right now. Just find something that works for you. Everything I'm about to run through, I understand is a lot, but it works for me and I'm able to stay on top of it. So let's just jump right into all the details. So we're gonna start with my checking accounts. So I've had a checking account with Bank of America since I was, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 years old. I believe that's fairly normal. When you are 15 or 16, you typically get your first job and you obviously need somewhere to put your money. And so I went with Bank of America at the time, and that is who I still have my checking account with. This is also where the bulk of the action happens. So all of my income gets direct deposited to Bank of America. Most of my expenses actually, I think all of my expenses come out of Bank of America as well. If I'm transferring any money to other accounts, it's coming from there. So that's where everything happens. That is the main account that I refer to. And I've been with them for over 10 years now. So obviously it's a pretty important account to me. I really like Bank of America's checking account. It's fine with me, it works. Now, recently I actually opened a second checking account, and this was to take advantage of a bonus. It was like a promo offer. So I opened a checking account with Capital One. So it's the Capital One 360 checking. They were offering $100 cash after spending $300 within 3 months, which is my grocery budget basically. So all that I did was transferred over $325 to this new checking account and spent about $300 of that. And now I will be getting $100 in cash. That was literally very recent. I believe I opened it in September or October. I do have a credit card with Capital One, so I do like Capital One. But as of right now, that checking account has like $1 and some change in it. I don't think I will continue to use it very often, but I don't know, I'm not sure yet. I'm fine with my Bank of America account, everything is set up there, but I did just want to take advantage of the free $100. Then I have my savings account. So I used to have a savings account with Bank of America. However, I recently closed that. I believe I closed it out in 2020 or maybe late 2019. I don't know, but they kept charging me maintenance fees of like $12 because you have to follow these certain rules to not be charged that maintenance fee. I think you have to like maintain $500 or maybe maintain $1,000 or have a certain amount direct deposited to that account in order to avoid the fee. And I don't like that. I just don't think that's right. Even if I had enough money in my checkings and I just so happened to not have enough the entire month in my savings, they would still charge me, and I just didn't like that. So I completely canceled that. It was a very simple process. They closed it immediately, basically. And so now my only savings account is with Marcus by Goldman Sachs. This is a high yield savings account, and when I first got it, I think I've been with them for about 2 years. The interest was like 2.75%, and now unfortunately it's down to 0.5. So it's not quite high yield savings, but of course higher than most savings accounts. And that's normal right now with just the state of the economy. But Marcus is where I hold all of my sinking funds. As you guys know, every month I update the amount I have in my sinking funds, and within this one Marcus account, I have 8 separate accounts. So this is where I keep all my sinking funds. I also keep my emergency fund here, and this is where I store my tax payments as well. So I put money into one of those accounts to save for my quarterly taxes. And so yes, each account has its own account number. It is considered a separate account, but it's all under one roof. So I can access everything in one one page, so it's not very complicated. The good thing about it too is I can transfer money between those accounts. I can transfer money easily to it or from it. Of course, it takes a couple of days, and then you can set up auto payments. I just really like to have these sinking funds separated, and it sounds crazy that, you know, that you have 8 accounts, but when it's under one roof, it's really not so bad. Now for credit cards, I do have quite a few. I have 6 different credit cards, and I know that some people don't like credit cards, but personally, I really do. So I have 0 credit card debt. As you guys know, I don't plan on having any revolving credit card debt, but I do still use my credit cards on a regular basis. So as of today, I have 6. We're gonna start with my oldest one. So I have a You Promise card from Barclay. I got this, I think I was 17 or 18. It was like a student card, so the limit on this is still only like 600 or 700 bucks. I rarely use it because there are no benefits to using it aside from keeping it open. So they will actually send me a letter in the mail telling me, we will close your account in 30 days if you don't use it, which is really convenient because otherwise I would forget about it. I need to put reminders in my phone to use that account from time to time. So even if it's just like a $2 charge, they will keep it open, and that helps my credit score because it keeps my credit history longer, and that one I've had for over 10 years, so it helps a lot with my credit score, and I don't want to close it down, but I don't really use it, so I don't log on to that one very often. I also have a Barclay card, an Apple card, Barclay Apple Rewards, whatever. This I got, I remember in 2014, because that's when I was financing my laptop. I did pay it off without any interest, but that's the only reason that I opened that one. And I also don't use this one. It doesn't seem to be a problem that I don't use it very often either. They don't send the same warning messages. I don't use this one very often because they give you points toward Apple, and if you don't know, Apple is very expensive, and so those points barely make a dent in any purchase, and I don't really purchase Apple products on a regular basis. So that's my second one. My third one is Care Credit. Again, I rarely use this one. I got this one several years ago because I had to have a root canal, I believe it was from, and that's when I first opened it. But I have not used it in years. It was very good at the time to use for medical purchases, and they also allow you to do special financing options where you don't pay interest for some time. Oh, and I had PRK eye surgery, like LASIK eye surgery, which was like close to $4,000, and I put all of that on there, paid it all off in time to not pay any interest on it. So it's a very good card for medical expenses if those happen to come up for you. My fourth one is Bank of America Cash Rewards. This is probably the one I use the most often because of the points that I get back for it. So I really like this one, and now that I do not pay interest on anything, I never have revolving credit card debt, I do get quite a lot of points back for this every single month. It's 2% back on groceries, 1% back on everything else, and then there's a 3% category on select. You can choose basically. So there's gas, there's travel, online shopping, and you get to change it every month if you want to. So I kind of strategically plan it out so that, for example, in November, I switched my 3% reward over to online shopping, and so I've been getting 3% back on all of my online shopping for the holidays, which is quite a lot of money. So I try to take advantage of that when I can. My fifth credit card is Capital One Venture One, and this one is more of like a travel card because you get points which are equivalent to miles, but you can redeem it for cash, which I have done before. And this one I opened a couple of years ago, and I know I got a promotional bonus. Anytime I open a card, typically there's a promotion with it. So Capital One, I think it was like $100 or $200 back. Oh, it was like 200,000 miles. I think that's still a thing. I'll put my referral link down below. Anything that I mentioned that has a relevant link, I will put down below. But yeah, my Capital One Venture One, I do use this one if it's not groceries or if it's just like random things like at the store, because you get 1.25 points per $1 spent, which isn't too bad. And my sixth and final credit card is with Chase, and I actually just recently opened this one because they have a promotion for $200 cash back after spending $500 in the first 3 months, which again, I will do that anyway because I will just use it for groceries. They also are offering 5% cash back on groceries for a full year, which is crazy. There's no annual fee. There's no annual fee for any of these, by the way. I will link that down below as well because that promo is still going on, $200 cash back after you spend $500 in the first 90 days. And this one I just opened in, I think this month in November. So far, so good. I like the app, I like the website, I'm cool with it, and I'm excited to get my $200. Now, the next area are my accounts with debt, so anything that I have a loan with. So the first one is Associated Credit Union. They are holding my car loan, and there's also a savings account with them, but I just have to have that in order to, I refinanced with them, so I had to open a savings account too, but I don't really use that savings account. It has like $5 and some change in it because it has to have $5. So that one has my car loan, and that's how I make my payments, but I don't use that savings account. And then my other debt account is Navient, I'm not sure how to say it. That's the student loans, which has the bulk of my debt, over $36,000. So in regards to student loans, I used to have 11 total, all under Navient though. So now I have 7 student loans total, and hopefully can get those paid off ASAP so I never have to log into either of those again. And my final account is investing, and I only have Vanguard. As of right now, I only have my Roth IRA open, and that is with Vanguard. And then I do have a brokerage account just with $1 chilling in there waiting to be invested. I just opened that so I could see how to do that process, but I am not currently investing outside of my Roth IRA. I used to have a Robinhood account. I still have it. It's always linked down below, like my little referral link, but I'm not invested in any stocks. I took them all out. Now, in regards to apps, there are 2 apps that are very important to me. Aside from, the Bank of America app, all of the banks, I have their app, and so I can get on my phone or on the computer. But outside of that, I really enjoy using Personal Capital. So this is where I get my net worth number from, and all that you do with Personal Capital, it's free. They do have an option to pay for different services, but there's no need for that. I just want my net worth. And so you just log into your accounts through Personal Capital. They store it all in one place. You can see your assets and your liabilities, therefore you get your net worth. And I really like it. It keeps it organized, and I can see my progress from day to day even, but really, month to month. The second app that I use and use quite regularly is Credit Karma. I love Credit Karma. I've had it for years, and that's how I keep track of my credit score. So they use a Vantage score. You could look at your FICO score on your bank statements and all that stuff, but I love how Credit Karma breaks it down. Now, sometimes Credit Karma will offer advice that, they'll give you tips on how to increase your score, or they'll give you offers for different credit cards, which you don't always want to listen to, but it's a great app to keep everything organized and also stay on track of all of your accounts. So even on there, it'll have your credit score, and then you'll also have a breakdown of your accounts. It'll break it down by type of loan, so like car loan, home loan, student loans, auto loan, all that will be in one spot. And I really like that you can see that, so then I can just make sure everything looks good. Like I said, this really works well for me. I've never had a problem, and I stay really organized with my accounts. So I did want to say that I check my accounts just about daily. For sure, my checking account, I check that every single day just to make sure everything looks good. Always on payday, I check and make sure the money came in, and paying for rent or any bills that I know are gonna be coming out, I check for that, make sure we're good to go, because sometimes technology messes up, and even if you have auto payment on something, you always want to double check. And so I always check my checking account and make sure I'm good there. But in regards to everything else, I check it sporadically. So it'll be, my savings account, I check maybe once a month. Or if I need to pull money out of a sinking fund to put it towards my checking account, if I purchase something in that sinking fund, then I will log on there and I can see my numbers there, but I'm not too concerned about that. It mostly stays around the same. Like I know what it's sitting at most days. My credit cards, I will log in if I know I made a recent purchase on there, because what I typically do when it comes to credit cards is actually what I always do when it comes to credit cards is I make a purchase, and then as soon as that payment is processed, I pay it off. So I don't even wait until the due date. I just pay it off as soon as I can. This way I can avoid interest at all costs, because I never want to pay a dime of interest to the banks again. And like I said, I do have 6 credit cards, but 3 of those I basically never use. And then the other 3 I kind of keep track of. I do everything strategically. So whenever I go grocery shopping, I'll use one card. When I get gas, I use that same card. And now that I have like this new Chase one, I'll probably be using that one a lot more because it has better cashback value. But I am very aware of when I spend money, because I don't spend money that often. And I do prefer to charge to my credit card if I can, so that I can take advantage of the points. And then I wait a couple days for everything to process and make that payment that day. This year, I didn't really log into my student loan account very often because I didn't really need to. Maybe a few times this year I did, just to, you know, make sure I wasn't making the payments because I didn't want to while the interest has been paused. For my car loan, I log in when I make extra payments, but outside of that, it's all, you know, I'm not concerned about it. My investment account, I don't check every day. That's maybe 2 to 3 times in the month, and that's just because I'm curious to see how much it's gone up. I'm not like obsessed with it. Same with my net worth. I'll check that like once or twice a month just because I want to see, and it's kind of cool to see the number and see the chart go up and down. Credit Karma, I check my credit score. Sometimes I'll just log on there randomly. I don't know, sometimes it's every day, sometimes it's like every other day, because it's very simple and you can just, you type in your PIN and you're just logged in. And I really like that. So it's very quick to check, and I just make sure everything looks good there, but I don't spend an extensive amount of time there. So that's how I manage all that. I did want to share my spreadsheets on the screen. This is nothing new. I think I've shared at least my budget and spending spreadsheets. So I keep it all on Google Sheets. I really like Google Sheets. I don't really I like Excel, but I don't have that on my personal computer. What I also love about Google Sheets is that it is updated in real time, so I can edit it and then I can get on my computer or my phone and I'm able to access it. That's what I love about it. So you can customize it however you like, but basically I have one sheet dedicated to 2020 and I put every month on that spreadsheet, and then I put my budget on there, and then I track my spending typically at the end of the month. Mostly I track my spending at the end of the month because I'm not spending much, and if I did spend money on something that I didn't expect to, I'll just add it to the sheet right away. Now, you guys also know that I've been trying to budget for groceries and stay on top of that. So what I've been doing is, this is my bullet journal, and I just, each time that I spend money on food or groceries, I just put it on my little calendar that I have here, and that's been helping me stay on top of that. I also use Google Sheets for my debt, and now it's been very simple because I literally only have 2 debts, and I don't separate, on the spreadsheet, I don't separate my student loans into the 7 different loans. I used to do that, but it's just not necessary for me right now. So maybe in the future I will, once I get down to my student loans, actually, I may separate it out so we can see the breakdown of like the debt avalanche. But as of right now, it's just two debts. I keep track of who I owe, the interest rates, the minimum payment, my actual payment, and then the final balance at the end of the month. This is also where I keep track of my interest that I pay each month. I just have it set up to automatically calculate that. And then I also keep track of my extra income for the month. So that's from online income, that's from other things, like if I got a gift or if I got cash back or something like that, I keep that on that sheet as well. And then my final spreadsheet is my side hustle income or online income, which is where I keep track of all of my business income and business expenses, which is very important when it comes to taxes. So I keep both on the same page, income at the top, expenses on the bottom, and I update this every single month, or, as the month goes. On the left-hand side, I do have, a breakdown of the things I know I'll be paying for, but then if anything else I end up having to pay for, I put that on the spreadsheet as well beneath that month so that I can keep track of it. And then when it comes to taxes and I have to pay my taxes, I can tell them what to write off, which I will make a whole separate video on about, the things you can write off as a small business or an online business, because it's very important and can save you a ton of money. And same goes with my online income. I break it down by the source, and then every month I just write down the amount that is deposited to my bank account, and I keep track of what I need to put toward taxes or save for taxes, and then the actual amount I would end up with. So that basically covers everything when it comes to managing my money. I know it's a lot, but hopefully that gave you some insight into that. I did want to offer a couple of tips if you, like I said, if you're somebody who struggles to stay on top of everything, or if you regularly miss payments, things like that. I have never missed a payment in my life because I am very diligent about my accounts and my finances, obviously. And I think for me, I'm a little obsessive, and that's just my personality, especially when it comes to money, but it works for me. So that helps a lot, to just be really on top of your finances and don't be afraid of it. Of course, you want to be aware of everything and make your payments on time. Otherwise, you're just going to set yourself up for more problems. But my first tip is to set up auto pay for any payments. So if you're not into the habit of paying your credit card statements right away, or like any charge that you put on your credit card, if you are not in the habit like I am to just log on and make the payment immediately, then set up auto payments and set them up on or before the due date, so then you are good to go. You won't face any fees. It won't affect your credit score, anything like that, and you'll obviously save money that way. You can do the same thing when it comes to savings. If you don't know how much you have in your account or anything like that, set up auto savings to go to your high yield savings or to your regular savings account, whatever it is that you have. Auto payment and auto savings are your best friend when it comes to people who are forgetful or neglectful of their accounts. And going along with that, the other thing you can do is set up reminders in your phone. So put a reminder on the day before the due dates for every single account that you have, to double check and make sure you've made the payment or have scheduled the payment. If you don't like the auto payment setup, that is another option for you. It'll just take some initial time to set up the monthly reminders, or have your accounts send you notifications. So most accounts these days can send you a text message or send you an email to tell you your payment is coming up, or if you received a deposit or something, if money went out of your account, anything like that, which is very important. My third and final tip is to dedicate time at least once a week to your finances. Even if it's only 20 minutes, just set aside some time, schedule it out, put it in your calendar, do it at the same time on the same day. Maybe it's on Sunday at 8 p.m. or Monday morning at 7. Then you sit down, you log into all of your accounts, make sure everything looks good, make sure you're staying on top of everything, and that your bills are paid. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but you do not want to neglect any of your accounts, because that is how you fall behind on things and you will mess up your credit score or be charged fees. It's just going to cost you more money in the long run. And I know sometimes people get stressed out looking at their bank accounts, but you don't want to put yourself in a scarcity mindset. Like, just don't think of it that way. You are logging into your accounts to make yourself more well-rounded in finances and make a positive habit around your money. So even if right now you see your account and it looks really low and that stresses you out, just know that this is not permanent. The more that you make a habit of this, the better your finances are going to get. You're going to pay off your debt, you're going to increase your income, everything like that, and this is a big part of it. So that is it for how I manage my finances. I guess that was a whole lot, but hopefully that was helpful. If anybody was curious as to how to better manage their accounts and their finances, I do have a budget template I'll put the link down below to that template and also the video on how to budget. I have tons of videos across my YouTube channel on, you know, saving money and how to budget, paying off debt, all those things. So just look around if you are new here, but my throat is tired of talking, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.